Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. CitizenCon 2024 is not too far away. It's going to be the biggest event for Star Citizen of the year, potentially the biggest CitizenCon they've ever had. Well, I mean, there's a load going on there. It's going to be amazing. However, last year's CitizenCon, CIG promised and basically targeted a load of features over the next 12 months. So we're approaching that really rough deadline. What actually made it? What didn't make it into the game yet? What's coming really soon? And what don't we really know when it's coming, but CIG are working on? Well, let's talk about it. So, yes. We had a huge amount of stuff that CIG actually released that they showed off at CitizenCon, from deeper character customization to distribution centers, which are hubs of activity in the verse, creatures and animals with the Copians and Marok, although I suppose they didn't show those off specifically. We have the Mobiglass updates, but also the loot and inventory updates as well for quick looting, some of those Squadron 42 features, a new star map and minimap, which is significantly better than the previous iterations that we had, but still not perfect. It's getting there though. A better player interaction experience is in, although it's not the full sort of thing that they showed. A load of other FPS updates as well, with weapon handling and better scopes. EVA 2.0, so you're actually having a much better EVA experience when you leave your ship and sort of Superman around now. There's various reputation updates, and NPCs technically will treat you differently based on your reputation with them. A load of ships and vehicles also came out, including the MPUV Tractor, the Urza Medivac, the X1s, the Pulse, technically the updated Retaliators with modularity. We had master modes, love it or hate it, it's in-game to some degree. There's a sort of new flight and combat experience along with that. A lot of that is really, really good. A lot of that still requires work to get into a good state. There are engine updates, so they've kind of got Vulcan in now. There's like Cloud Sim, Water Sim. I say cloud sim, I mean sort of volumetric clouds. A load of cool looking stuff there. There's the replication layer and network improvements moving towards server meshing. There's cargo hauling, freight elevators, persistent hangars for all your sort of cargo gameplay needs. And there's also things like Starcloth and Star Hair. So CIG having cool ways of doing sort of cloth simulation and hair simulation in their games. So all of that in game already. They've got that in. However, there are some other bits that are coming really soon, either with 3.24.2 or 4.0. Basically stuff coming by the end of the year we know about. That being like Pyro, settlements, factions, stations, missions, all associated with Pyro, and that 4.0 build, including like FPS repair missions, load of gameplay there, engineering gameplay as well. So that's the circuitry of ships, that's the physicalization of components. That also is armor now as well, we found out, but you've got things like life support and fire and power management all being part of that, and fire extinguishing. You've got static server meshing, which is being tested right now. That again is part of 4.0, and then you've got these sort of things like the HUD and MFD rework, which is going to be part of that 3.24.2 patch and really looks pretty good. So a load of manufacturers have got their own specific HUDs and MFDs now, and ones that don't have sort of like a generic upgrade until they do. Still the expectation that Alpha 4.0 will be in our hands by the end of the year in some form. At least that's the target from CIG. And that 3.24.2 patch, we're expecting it at CitizenCon or the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, something like that. We don't exactly know. It is being tested in EVOCATI. There are a load of ships and vehicles that they showed off at CitizenCon that are still on the cards for this year, at least mostly. So we've got the Zeus Mark II, the CL and ES, and that's supposed to be in that 3.24.2 patch. We've got the Polaris, which is still being targeted, I believe, for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, but like end of year, I would expect it by. You've got the Fat Fury. I don't know whether it's just turning up. This is a ship that we don't 100% know about yet. We do expect it to be the Mirai ship of some description. I do have a video on some of the spoilers for stuff like that, which you can go and check out if you are interested. There's also what we think is a Crusader starter ship that sort of John Crew alluded to. Again, that's probably going to be turning up at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. And then there's the Legionnaire, which is that sort of hacking assault ship that sort of hacks your docking collar and then forcibly docks with you. CIG did say a little while ago that that was less likely to be this year now, but it might appear at the show for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, something like that. Now, I'm also including the hover trolley here. That might be turning up real soon. It was shown off at CitizenCon last year. We need different ways of moving cargo around, especially with the exosuits. It'd be nice to be able to put things on flatbeds and move them around. Beyond all this, there is still a few features that have yet to turn up. And I suppose with a lot of them, we don't know when we're going to get them. At least they're not confirmed. So new features-wise, we've got things like base building. Obviously, that concept was shown at CitizenCon 2023. And the development of that beyond just concept, I believe, started at the beginning of 2024. Like persistent hangars that we've already got in-game now, that's like step towards bases. And then we've got things like homesteads, which CIG apparently are going to be showing off at CitizenCon this year. And that's probably the first step, the first real version of base building that we're going to have in-game. We don't know to what scope and scale that's going to be. We are expecting at some point as well land claims, fabrication and crafting. That was all sort of shown off and talked about during the base building presentation that they had. So a lot of that, obviously quite big mechanics. We're not sure how it's going to be handled, but we are waiting on it. And the first iterations of all of that might be pretty soon. There's things like Maelstrom. So this is the physically based destruction system for like ships and structures and some terrain in game. It looks really cool. We know that they've been iterating on it, but we don't know when it's actually going to be in our hands. There's ray tracing and ray traced sort of global illumination. CIG have been working on this. They've been talking about it in the monthly reports and things like that. And we know it's going very well. Don't know when it's going to be turning up though. Should make the game look a bit better. Well, for people that support it, it's going to be at a performance cost for sure. There's FPS scanning and FPS radar pinging that they showed off for deeper exploration in Star Citizen and more information about your terrain that you're in and an area that you're in. Really, really looking forward to updates there. There's weaponware, which we know is going to be turning up at some point for your FPS stuff. There's the new quantum travel experience and quantum boosting. So we know that the idea here is that you'll have a quantum tunnel that you will have to keep your ship in, and this is replacing how we quantum travel at the moment. It's sort of as you're accelerating up, or if you're quantum boosting, you have to hands-on keep your ship within that tunnel, otherwise you'll sort of be kicked out of quantum. But as soon as you've got up to your sort of acceleration speed, then you're able to go hands-off and you'll start traveling. I suppose I should have also said something that's coming in 4.0 is jump points, and which they also have shown off to a degree. And other stuff that we're expecting, different types of animal, like the quasi-grazer. We actually know that's supposed to be coming in 4.0, but there's also the star whales that they showed off. We don't know when they're turning up. They're obviously pretty big. Giant floating space whales are around Crusader. There was things like stealth and better takedowns, so we're expecting a level of that, and you can kind of bundle this in with Bounty Hunting version 2. They did show off the ability to sort of like have restraints and bits like that. There were raids as well on distribution centers. Literally events where you'd sort of assault a distribution center, try and steal as much loot as you can and get out. There's some more sort of updates to features as well, like fully functional Vulkan, I'll say, as one of them. So at the moment, Vulkan is something that I don't use. It is really cool and should give us a much better scope and performance and better looking graphics and more optimal graphics and stuff like that eventually, because if they focus fully on Vulkan, it is a better API than sort of like DirectX 11 or 12, in my opinion at the very least. But we've yet to see the dividends and returns of them using that because of bugs and because it's not particularly optimal yet. There are star map updates that we're still expecting to turn up, custom markers, shareable and sellable location information. Being able to do that is a big part of exploration gameplay. There are a load of animation improvements for traverse or moving around ladders, interactions, things like that. There are cockpit and immersion sort of animation updates as well as having things like your MFDs being able to be cast to your helmet HUD. There are some flight updates, like control surfaces, better atmospheric flight. There's more AI and NPC updates, including new behaviors for them. There's a couple of big things there that we are still waiting on for sure. I'd say really realistically, it's things like base building Maelstrom and the new quantum travel experience are the biggest things there. And some of those sort of feature and engine updates can be bundled into the new Planet Tech V5 that CIG are working on, which I expect we will see at CitizenCon. And a lot of what we mentioned might turn up before the end of the year. It might be shown off at CitizenCon this year. It might be part of 4.0. It might be something that they've got planned for first quarter next year for 4.1. Stuff with like base building and homesteads, I would expect that to be the most basic, simple implementation of a base building mechanic. But CIG did hit a lot of what they showed at CitizenCon last year already. A lot more is coming before the end of the year. And as I said, a lot of what we discussed may turn up either by the end of the year or early next year. And I'm interested to know what you think. What are you expecting to see at this year's CitizenCon? What sort of features do you think that CIG should have hit from that list that they haven't yet? Are you excited by Alpha 4.0? Or do you think it's going to be a cluster F and explode and everything go wrong? Are you attending CitizenCon this year? But please tell us. I'm really interested to know. I'm going to be attending too, as is Sin. It's going to be great. I hope you have a great day. Tell us what you think in the comments below and listen to this guy about NordVPN, because you should click on all of the links. It helps the channel. Ooh, and it gets you a VPN if you want one. What's in the box? That is what Pandora asked. She was told not to open that box, but she did. The internet is like Pandora's box, full of the chaos of the world. And Pandora basically opened an email attachment asking to help a millionaire prince move money around. Bam! It was Medusa all along. You've turned to stone. Foolish! You should know your Greek mythology. What's not foolish is nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. NordVPN is potentially one of the greatest Greek mythological heroes. It helps protect you from the terrors of the internet, helping you be more secure and private, while also giving you great accessibility. You can use my links down below to get NordVPN cheap. September, we've got a giveaway. Every month we have a ship giveaway, and this month is no different. We're giving away 5 ships this month. Actually, that is a bit different. That's 4 more than normal. We're going to give each of them to a different winner. We've got a Nomad, an X1, a Sulen, a Mustang Alpha, and a 100i. They all come with access to the game and lifetime insurance. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning any of those is comment on any of my videos made during the month on YouTube. I want to say a massive thank you to all our patrons and channel members. Your support allows us to make daily content. You are the best, and you should consider joining them by clicking the join button under my videos. It goes a long way in helping us, as does commenting, sharing videos, liking, all of that jazz. You do not have to chuck money at us, but if you want to, I'm not going to stop you. Thanks for watching, and have a great September.